Tevez sta solo, Tevez al limite dell'area, fa fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Hey, Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel. Of course, where it's all Juve all the time. Like the video while you're here out of the gate, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. It's myself and Lucci today. Lucci, how you doing, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you? Or just you, I guess. Help everyone in the chat.
There's gentlemen, I'm sure, in the live chat. Look at them. They've been getting at it way before we even come on. Again, here's Bobby Yoxel. Good morning, Forza Juve. We look like so many other clubs have. Chaos, but fino alla fine, regardless, a long, weird season ahead. It's going to be very interesting, and we're definitely going to talk about this aftermath from Benfica that's just spilled over into the rest of the week and going into this one. Today, though, we will have Landucci. There you go, Andrew Franceschi. Landucci master calls inbound, master class, meaning Il Busy. Good morning, everyone. This madness will forge a tighter group. It has to. Hopefully the players decide to play dangerous today. So this is an interesting call. This madness has to forge a tighter group. Well, we're going to get into that and what's going to happen. We'll see. Luis Barbosa, Landucci is Max's puppet. What you'll see is still sad Max ball. Ooh, sad Max. No more Mad Max. Turn into sad Max. We will see. Good morning to everybody else in the live. Juventini, we are not far off from kickoff for the Monza match. I will be doing a live watch along for it. Okay, so for those of you who hate some of those announcers out there, hey, let me call the plays for you. Let me call the action, okay? Lucci, you did not take part in some of these shows after this chaos and everything with Benfica. So,
Mondays was pretty bad too, though.
You know, the interviews with Max, they're never great. They're always tone deaf. This latest string of words, basically, really seemed to light a fire. And for me, I'm just getting frustrated because he can't seem to pick a lane and stay in it. So yesterday in my daily update video, I had people really fired up. They didn't know about the video, and obviously our friends at Juve Canal, who do a great job on their Twitter handle, they've been putting out a lot of material and content and whatnot, and they're dating stuff back, showing you just like timelines and everything. While we had a different coach at Juve, and Max spoke about all his time away from the club and all this, he says in 6 months, this is an interview, a recorded, it's like a live broadcast that he's speaking on, a live session. If a coach can't get the team to do what he needs to or what he's asked them to do in 6 months, it means he's failing and doing a bad job. In Max's own words, he's 15 months at Juve right now. And now all of a sudden, it's, well, a player like Di Maria changes everything. He comes on against Benfica. He puts a pass from 30 yards out. No, that's not coming off the training pitch. So it's almost like he's basically, for me, you know, I listen to things like that, and it's almost like, number one, in this moment in time, why on earth do you continue to press this injury thing and essentially almost tell your players, everybody aside from the three major guys, that they're not good enough? That's the first problem I have with it. The second problem I have with it is, Max, you've been outplayed by teams with far less talent, okay? Where our roster that we've actually played is still above theirs.
Yeah,
that's the second problem I have with it. The third problem I have with it is you're getting paid $9 million a goddamn season. I don't care if these guys are gone. It's up to you to figure something else out. And if you're going to stand there on the sideline and say, go play, which is essentially how I feel it's happening right now, then you guys might as well save a ton of money, Juve. Hey, I'll pack my things up. I'll move my family out to Turin. We'll be there tomorrow. I can say, go play. That's how I feel about hearing that kind of crap. But
Yeah.
what do you think, Luch, with all this going on?
I just find some of his words shocking. Like, does he not think before he speaks? He's just saying whatever's on his mind. And how does that look for the players? Like, he's my coach is out here just bad mouthing who he has available to him, even though, some people got injuries. Like Locatelli, like, how do you think he feels after what Max was saying yesterday? And like, he cut him up not pretty bad. Like, you're gonna say that in front of all the fans, all the media, like, that's gonna get, first of all, I don't know the exact translation. Maybe you can clarify, but that, first of all, it's going to get blown out of proportion. How do you think that goes for Locatelli's, morale for the team?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just stupid. I don't know.
It's a strange play. It's frustrating to me that he continues to push this, but there's a lot more going on to it. And if you start listening to other personalities and everybody else that's kind of covering things right now, he also, the details of this discussion haven't come out, but there was an interview he did with Sconcerti, and Sconcerti apparently he's confided in Sconcerti, which is weird because Sconcerti is a personality that has shows, that does things, that him and Allegri have butted heads in the past. And all of a sudden now there's like a juicy, like, exclusive that could potentially be coming out here. That's really, really strange why Max would do that. And he did it. He spoke and confided in him without the club's authority. So it's very, very strange that that's going to happen right now. Okay. So it's really weird. So there's a couple theories going on right now. The first theory is that Max knows that his days are numbered, and now he's just saying and doing whatever he wants. Or the second theory is he's too comfortable and knows he's untouchable and is speaking out and saying things. Either way, those are awful for us, man.
Well, okay, so to your theory number one, what is he just going to start sabotaging everyone because, my days are numbered, so I might as well just talk shit about everyone? Like, what? And theory number two, how are you going to get the best out of your players if you know your position's safe when you're shit talking everyone? It's just, either way, he's screwing up the team. It doesn't make sense.
Look, this is not a Max. This is not the same Max that we had before. Max used to protect his players at all costs before. And now he's quickly. So he is a man who's desperate. I can tell, like, this is desperation at its finest, and it's brutal. But to throw players under the bus like this, and honestly, it's just excuse after excuse. I mean, the teams that we're being outplayed with are awful. Are these guys going to be game changers? Pogba, Di Maria, Case, of course. But don't play this card like what you have is so bad. And even with these injuries, other teams have dealt with injuries. Other teams have been able to manage and get through. The fact of the matter is, what you're trying to do is just, it's not happening. It's not translating.
Yeah.
And when players start to question what you're doing, which is what we're seeing, you just don't have them. You don't have them. So there's a lot to get into it. There's just a lot to tackle. And honestly, all I've been saying is, if he can turn the tide, if he could switch it around, if he can get this team to go on a long run, great. I personally have major doubts that he can do that. And right now, with what's going on, all this turmoil, the words that he continues to say are not going to turn things around. But there is the possibility that the players can react from being essentially told they're not good enough, but I doubt it, man, because they have no direction. There's nothing on the pitch that is pulling them together. And even this is what I even feel. If Di Maria and Chiesa and Pogba, say they all come back tomorrow, this hope of getting it all fixed because they're all back is still not, there's nothing there, because you're just inserting them into the list and saying, okay, go, now our problems are going to be fixed. But that doesn't instantly give them a shared understanding of how they want to attack teams, how they want to do it. It's still, get the ball to these guys and let's see what happens. It's not a guarantee, because a team with a system, a team with a plan, and a team that is united, which we are far from, and you could see
No.
this,
No.
it will still beat us.
Yeah.
And I don't like that thought process, Lucci.
But yeah, just to add on to that, like, we both work. We know if our boss is shit talking us as every opportunity he gets, like, are you really gonna want to go above and beyond for him after all these saying all these things about you? Or are you gonna have to go above and beyond for someone who's protecting you, or complimenting you, trying, doing what you can? Like, to me, it doesn't. How are you gonna motivate your players like that when every interview you're criticizing someone? It's not a winning mentality.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating because, like, we've seen Conte do it before with his, he did it at Inter, talking about how much he can do with what the squad he has, blah, blah, blah. And it's like Max is doing the same thing. And that's not what we need right now. We need someone who's going to bring this team together.
I agree. If there's one way to start a morning off, though, it's a 3-1 Udinese lead against Merda. Hey, let's go for that. Merda always losing is fantastic.
This is true.
So, hey, this is really, really something to talk about too. Okay, Udinese, should this finish like that, which it looks like it will, 16 points in top of the table after
Insane.
7 matches.
Oh.
No Pogba, no Chiesa, no Di Maria, but a hell of a system where all their players understand their roles and what they're going to do. I mean, the thought to just simply say it is down to that is not good enough for me. It's not good enough for me. It never has been. Like, the more talent you bring in, you still have to put it together. Last year, we saw that at PSG. They brought in all these guys, but it didn't translate. This year, it's starting to translate a little more for them, but honestly, it's not a guarantee. Like, you still have to do the work. Your coach still has to work. I hate this idea that he just thinks, oh yeah, I got to put these guys out. And the best part about it is 5 years ago, Max was the best at adapting. And this whole thing about, well, these injuries affect us, whatever. Of course they affect us, but what we've been doing is lackluster in terms of what should still happen. And you still have to adapt. You still have to have a plan B. Like, it's piss poor, but Udinese is a prime example of a coach that's come in there and, my God, done wonders.
The thing is with that too is that, yes, you might have some players not available, but the system and what you want the players to do should stay the same, whether you have all your players available or not. Udinese, their best players are ex-Juve reject, and they're going out and dummying Roma and Inter and everything, and we can't even beat Sampdoria or Salernitana. Like, who knows what's going to happen today? It's, we think it's going to be a cakewalk. It's not. The way we've been playing, no game is going to be easy. It's unacceptable.
Yeah. Luis puts it fantastic here. I mean, injuries are part of the problem, but not the solution under Max. It's just a cop-out. It's unacceptable. I mean, you look at Udinese's lineup. I don't think anybody starts for us, man.
Udogi
for sure.
Other than that, yeah,
didn't play today, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Did he? Sorry, subbed.
Yes, he did.
Subbed. Yeah, 80 minutes.
But they play so well as a unit where we look like we got a bunch of, 10, 11 individuals just playing whatever they're playing. I don't know what's going on.
So outside Udogi, who else starts for us? Does Deulofeu start? Does Pereira start? Pereira was an ex-Juve reject.
Pereira might. I don't know. He's better than Cuadrado.
It's funny. It's funny. I can't go with the hard done by approach for Max just because of these injuries. There's enough talent. When we're shit talking Locatelli, when we went after this guy, we chased this guy for a month, for Christ's sake, a month straight. Pull him from Sassuolo where he was putting in great performances. All of a sudden, he's not good enough. Chiesa last year was nothing under Max until injury. Absolutely nothing. You would have never thought he was coming off the season he was when Max had him under his reign. So I'm not sold on this whole idea and theory. These guys come back and it's just sorted out. Max has no guidance for these guys, no direction in the final third, and it shows in our play. He picks out one good pass from Di Maria last game against Benfica that all of a sudden, oh, doesn't that show you? No, it doesn't, Max, because that can happen at any point in any given time. Whatever. What's that? That's supposed to give us this faith and confidence in you? No, it doesn't. And people want to talk like Di Maria all of a sudden changed everything when he came on that game, whatever. No, it looked better because Cuadrado was so ass that game. You could have literally put anybody there instead of Cuadrado and it would have looked like an improvement. He was that bad. I didn't think Di Maria was all of a sudden revolutionary the second he came on against Benfica. Did it look better? Yeah, because Quad was so bad. I'm really at wit's end with this whole Max thing. And I hope I'm wrong for the sake of everybody here, because there's a lot of uncertainties about what it could look like getting rid of him and whatnot. The best case scenario for us financially, everything all involved, is for this team to turn it around, react, and go on a long run. But these things are not good. Then you have the turmoil between Pavel and Max. I said this, we can take back to the shows when Max started coming back. I said the awkward thing here is keeping Nedved around because you've created such a beast here. Pavel was spearheading this whole thing in 2019 to move on, to get this new direction and essentially going away from Max. You all of a sudden take things into your own hands as Agnelli, bring him back, but you keep Pavel around. You've already opened the door to what can be a really, really crazy situation, and now it's boiled over. He did that. Agnelli created that monster, and now it's back full force. That's nobody to blame but Agnelli. It should have been one or the other. If Max comes back, sorry, Pavel, I don't trust you. I have doubts in what you're doing. You got to go. Keeping them both now, and now you have this toxicity, right? Pavel comes down in the locker room, and maybe some players made their decision based on relationships with Max and Pavel. And maybe you have players picking sides. Like, hey, I'm with Pavel. This is dog shit, whatever. Like, it could happen.
It could. I don't know what else to say, but all I know is that seeing what Di Maria and the Di Maria and Milik conversation after the game against Benfica, that was all of us. That's what we say after every game. Why would he? That sub? Like, what are you doing? We need a goal. We need more than one goal, and you're taking off an attacker.
If it's gonna be like that, if it's literally gonna be a situation where, hey, we're gonna put these guys out, pray for the best. Hey, I don't think we need to be spending $9 million.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Drunk Pavel is all of us right now. This is another thing I've been saying about those that want Pavel out. Not that I've been saying it's about being drunk or anything, but those that want Pavel out, for me, he's as close to a fan's voice with this club that we have, really. Because the other guys, there's enough people involved that can look at this from the business side of things and the marketing side of things and everything like that. But this club continues to slip further and further and further away from the Juve that was established, what their values were, what we were all about. It's slipping further and further away from that. Pavel was a part of that. He became bonded to what Juve was because of the guys that he came up around when he joined Juve. And to see, like, you can see what it's doing to Pavel, man. Pavel looks like every time you see the guy, looks like he's aged incredibly all of a sudden, like from being vice president. He looks like he's been on benders like every single week. And,
maybe he is.
Maybe he is. But neither here nor there. It's killing the guy, man. It's when you've seen this club at the level, at the heights it was till now, it's a big issue. Max, Bikramjeet's sticking by Max's side, saying, I'm on Max's side. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm telling you right now, what he's saying needs to stop. It's this deflection thing. It's got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to stop.
And criticizing all your players.
Stop deflecting. Stop laying it all on the players. Start taking some responsibility. You're starting to look like a major hypocrite. When you're out of work, you say 6 months and a team should show you. You never said anything about players, anything. You were speaking coaches in general, okay? Coaches in general, the players they have, 6 months to start showing the ideas that the coach wants. Otherwise, he's failing. 15 months at Juve and it's injuries? No, Max. Come on, man. Now all of a sudden you're the one behind the bench and your story changes? No, man. Pick your lane and stay in it.
Yeah.
Stay in it. It's been 15 months. Get this thing sorted out. There's been zero progress. If anything, we've gone backwards. Okay? With a better team, in my opinion.
100%.
A better team. Even if you take those injuries out, a better team. Better options, more dynamics in the middle.
Yep. Midfield's 3 times better. No, there's no question about it.
I am not buying it. Not buying it 1 second. For God's sakes, leave Locatelli alone. Don't ever talk about Locatelli. Okay. Now, Monza today. Look. Here we go. Bottom of the table. Okay. So I don't care about Max talking about the respect thing and all this, whatever. Max, our team shows every team respect. Okay. So stop talking about respect. Is what it is. It's cool. I'm going to let that slide because it's just typical Mambo Jumbo interview stuff, whatever. It's Monza. Bottom of the table, they pulled 1 point in 6 matches. This needs to be a convincing victory and nothing short of. Okay. Bottom line. Max is not going to be on the bench today. It's going to be Landucci serving his suspension. Milik and Cuadrado will be serving their suspension as well. It's, again, has to happen. Monza's going to be playing a 3-5-2. That's what they do. If you look across Italy right now, there's a lot of teams playing 3-5-2s. It's just become the norm because it's such a easy transition for most teams to make from defense to offense. And if you have to park it, you could drop those wingbacks and make your 5 across the back. So naturally in Italy, this is becoming the norm, that 3-5-2. Monza will be playing 3-5-2. For Juventus, looks like it's going to be 4-3-3. Could, of course, be 4-4-2 hybrid. We'll wait and see. But Perin, De Sciglio, Bremer, Gatti, Danilo, McKennie, Paredes, Moretti in the middle, Di Maria, Vlahovic, Kostic. Di Maria is still not 100%, but going to be playing. Lucci, this game lineup leading into it, how do you feel?
Listen, you can't tell me this lineup is not good enough to beat Monza. It's plain and it's that simple, cut and dry. You got Vlahovic, you got Di Maria. Maybe he's not even 100%. He only plays 45 minutes. That's fine. This miles ahead of Monza. The team has 1 point. If you're not out there going for it and going to play to score goals, you're a coward. It's the worst team in the league. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. Listen, does Landucci pick the lineups or is it still Max? So Max is still heavily involved.
Yes.
This theory, this idea that Landucci just does it all in Max's absence is not it. Landucci's just essentially there on the bench and whatnot. Landucci will call subs. He'll deal with the in-game adapts and whatnot. But as far as everything leading up to it, lineups and everything like that, it's going to have Max's stamp on it.
We don't have many subs either. Everyone's hurt or suspended, so it's going to be pretty easy for him.
The list was long. Locatelli and Rabiot not getting into this one. Milik and Cuadrado we talked about with the suspensions. It's gonna be tough. There's not a lot going on the bench. Illing Jr., Barbieri. It'll be interesting.
You got Keane.
Moise Keane. He's got to step it up. Yeah.
How many opportunities are we going to give this guy? Well, you know what? Why not play
Yeah.
Sule? Why, like, Keane has not deserved to play, so why not give Sule? I don't think Sule's ready by any means, but he's can't be any worse than Keane at this point. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? I see everyone being negative. You guys should go and run the fucking things at Juve if you think that you know better than them. Look at Inter with no missing players. They lost 4 or 5 games. Number one, I don't give a shit what Inter's doing. Number two, it doesn't take somebody that's been involved or coaching or anything to see what's going on at Juve is toxic right now.
Yep.
Doesn't take a professor of the game to realize what's going on ain't working. It's got to change, and it's got to change quick. How much further do we need to slide? How much further do we need to slide? And
Well,
being negative, of course, we're going to be negative right now. Where have you been? I want to know where that van has been for the past week. It's all been negative from the club coming out. There's been nothing positive come from. You have our coach shit talking our players that they're not good enough. You have our vice president going in the locker room battling our coach in front of the players. What do you mean it's all been negative from the fans? It's all been negative from the team. And then that's before you even get to the play. What are we talking about here? Of course it's been negative. My God, where have you been? Hey, I hope you enjoyed the vacation, but welcome back to what we've been dealing with day in, day out. Luch.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if things do not turn around, I know the money aspect with letting Allegri go is going to be a pain. But is it worth missing out on Champions League, on getting through to around the 16 or qualifying for next season? How much money are we going to miss out on if we don't make it out of the group, if we don't qualify for Champions League next year? At that point, it's almost, you have to do it just to make that money, just to get that money in. I don't know, man.
Dude, I don't know. It's mounting up, and it's been mounting up for a while. I mean, the news of 250 million to cut into, the fact that you're tied to this manager now, all of a sudden there's major doubts. Apparently they are possibly looking. Like I said, there's two main theories going around, circulating around some people with some ties and connections to Juventus. And one of them is Max knows his days are numbered, and now you can't take anything. You can take anything for face value with what he was saying previously, but now you really can't. Or, he feels very, very comfortable and knows he ain't going anywhere. And that's even worse. So it's a tricky situation right now. We have to wait and see what's going on. So BAT97 saying, whoever says Allegri is not responsible for this, just watch Udinese. That is unrecognizable this season with Sotil as their coach. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier when we dropped the 3-1 scoreline. I said, look at this team right now after this game, sitting at 16 points to 7, top of the table until, of course, the other matches are played. But it's incredible to say that it's just players. I'm not buying this from Max. It's not good enough. Not good enough. We're going to tackle this Storm the Barn before we get into some predictions today. Okay, so Jeremiah saying your thoughts. Max sacked after this game. Landucci assigned as intern till after the World Cup and do whatever it takes to get Deschamps in. He knows the Juve DNA well and he has unfinished business. Do you want to start this, Lucci, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
So for me, I'm going to say Max sacked after this game. I don't think if it's happened yet, it's going to happen after this game. If they drop points in this one, though, I don't even want to think about that. But if it happens, I think, Landucci as interim. We talked about this about a week ago. I was running through it. In my mind, I still stay the same. He's too much associated with this current period.
That's what
and
I was
I
thinking.
don't think leaving him on would be good enough. I don't think it would be good enough leaving him on. He's too invested and too tied into this era. I think you need a clean sweep. As far as Deschamps, I would love Deschamps back at the club. Right now, I don't think he's the right guy for this moment because I think for us, I still been saying with this Juve, we need a certain type of character to lead us forward right now. I'm not so sure it's Deschamps. I I just don't think now's right for Deschamps, in my personal opinion. What do you think to everything I've been saying?
Yeah, I agree on the Landucci point for sure. I was thinking that as well. This team needs someone that's gonna, I guess, give them a little kick. You know what I mean? Not someone's gonna bring them down per se, but someone's gonna give them a little extra motivation. I don't think Max is that motivational voice in the change room. He just doesn't seem like that type to me, especially when he's going and doing interviews like that. It just those doesn't make sense. Like honestly, someone like Conte is probably someone we need. The champ, maybe. I don't know. Like you want to talk about De Zerbi and all these other guys, maybe. It's tough to say, man.
You know, you've got Tudor, which Nicolas Gira yesterday was saying some pretty interesting things about how highly they think of him at Juve management and whatnot. You've got Tuchel's available. I don't know if he would take it or not. Zidane might be next in line for France. Wants a France gig. I don't know. Lucci, if you had to hand pick, though, who would you hand pick?
You know what? I'm taking Conte back. If I had the choice, I'm taking Conte.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting PTSD from returns.
True.
And this Max one really stung me. And I like the idea of somebody like Conte. What about, so we've got our friend here. Where is it?
Well, I see a couple shouts for Juric in here. This is not a bad idea.
Pirlo, but seriously, Juric.
Yeah.
Juric. We've got Tuchel. And by the way, thank you for the donation there. Much appreciated. Tuchel. Wing of Winter. Welcome, Juric. It's tricky. For me, out of all of them, they still all have their doubts. And that's why I say for the easiest thing for all of us would be this team to go on a long run and turn it around right now.
Yeah.
Because all these guys they all have doubts around them. It's interesting. B1897 throwing in the names and then adding even Sotil from Udinese already after he's just kind of got there and just kind of done that. That's a major uncertainty too, right? Because sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle too.
Yeah, and I don't know about Tudor. He wasn't great at where was he? Udinese and Verona before that, I think it was, or after that it was Verona.
He was at Verona. He did okay.
He did all right.
I was surprised he actually took off. Yeah. Interesting, the dynamic at Juve with Tudor, though. So the backstory was that Juve brought him in. Pirlo did not want him as part of his staff. And Tudor was supposed to be more involved, but Pirlo leaned on his friend of 20 plus years, Barogno. And he was leaning on him. And that's where the rift came. It wasn't the club and Tudor. It was Pirlo and Tudor. So Nicolas Gira again, shining some light on that whole situation. So there was a lot going on, but Tudor would be probably someone I'd lean towards taking a shot at. But it's a tough decision when you're looking at all these names. You've got Tuchel, who mid-year swung Chelsea to a Champions League. But then nothing but problems with him and the management. So it's like that creates, right now, the toxicity in this club. I don't know if I can handle a guy that comes in that's like that. Conte's going to have that too. Conte's his way or the highway. And if he comes back and all of a sudden this management thing, and it ain't, I don't know.
True.
It's said that Tudor is highly regarded by the management. It's said that Nedved wants an ex-Juve legend. Take that for what it's worth. Tough call. Tough call. Everybody, like the video while you're here. We've got Monza, we got Juve. Right now, we've got Max at the helm. Like I've said, best case scenario, get it together and get moving forward with victories. Man, we just got to get it going. Jeremiah wasting absolutely no time. Prediction time here, okay? 3-0 Juve. Vlahovic, Miretti brace.
Wow.
13 attempts, 6 on target. So we're going to talk here about Del Piero in a bit, Sweaty, okay? Prediction time. Lucci, you want to kick us off with predictions here?
I really want it to be a nice, comfortable win, but I don't know, man. I'm
With
gonna say,
Monza? Come on.
man. Well, we said the same thing again last week against Salernitana, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'll go 2-1 Juve. I'll go 2-1. Somehow I think Monza's going to score a goal, and it'll probably be like Rovella or Ranacchia coming just to score against us. Vlahovic and Di Maria with the goals. I'm going to go 11 attempts with like 5 on target.
All right. So
like, I don't want to jinx us, man. I don't know what like. Am I supposed to say we lose?
So the thing with Monza, we talked about it. They go 3-5-2. They're actually good in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
They have a good midfield. The up top, they're pretty weak. It's pretty
Patania's
weak.
Going to score against us, isn't he?
What's that?
Patania's going to score one, isn't he?
No, that big refrigerator. No way. Bremer will just manhandle that chump. No, we'll be okay. I think it's going to be 2-0. I think it'll be 2-0 for Juve. Goal scorers, I don't know if I'm going to go with goal scorers as my tie breaks.
Well, none of the goals are coming from the midfield. Or Kostic is an assist guy, so
maybe Moretti gets his first in this game for Juve.
Rovella's going to be the best player on the pitch today. You heard it here first.
Naturally, that's how it would go down for Juve. I don't know what I'm going to do for my tie breaks here. I'm going to go 2-0. We'll get the clean sheet. I'm going to say Moretti gets his first with Juve here today. Take the other one with Di Maria. I'll go Di Maria. Rovella, man of the match, shout right here.
Yeah, boy.
I want to ask you, going back now that we got the predictions out of the way and everything. Swarit, by the way, dropping a 4-1 to Dusan Braceman. Hey, we do need a convincing victory right now. Dell's going with 2-0 Juve this time. So Swarit was bringing up Del Piero ? Not as a coach,
no,
but there's been a lot of talk about bringing him back into the club. Now, number one, we're just going to talk about this hypothetically. So I don't need everybody, getting fired up or saying, he's never going to come. Just if he were to come and have some capacity in the job, let's just hypothetically speak about this, because there's a lot of people saying, oh my God, laughing at the notion of even doing it. I just want to know how you actually feel about it, Luch.
But why would you not want to bring him in? Like, the club's arguably greatest ever player, loyal, so on and so forth. Like, he's the Juve DNA. Why would you not want someone like that kind of in a role that's management, but also involved with the players? Like, he would be great for everyone. I don't see why people would be laughing at this. It doesn't make sense to me. I would love him. I would love for him to come back. Would he want to come back? I know Anthony was giving it to me the other day. Would he want to leave LA? Would he want to move back to Italy? So on and so forth. Maybe not, but why not try?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be that. I think bringing him in with, depending if they decide to keep Nedved, whatever, like, you're bringing in legends. You're bringing in team icons that will kind of unite the team. Because right now we're going in 7 different directions, disaster. So I think you need someone like that.
I think personally, because nobody knows what the future holds or anything like that, but I truly feel like Agnelli needs to focus on the business side of things. He needs to break himself away from the football matters and the footballing side, because he circumnavigated his management team and all this and went in the Pirlo route and then went in the max return. And basically he needs to get the ones that he can trust to look after the footballing side. I think he needs to just stick to the business side. I don't need Agnelli gone, but after this instance with Max's return and how it's played out, he needs to bear the weight of what he did.
Yep.
And I think he needs to stick to the business side. If a guy like Del Piero comes in, it's no different than how I feel about Nedved being there. These guys are tied to this club. Like, they care so much it's crucial to have guys like that. And people say all the time, well, I actually had somebody in the daily update video. It was yesterday. It was quite funny because he says, you have no idea. To me, he goes, you have no idea, in his comment, about what it's like to manage a club, play 3 games a thing and do all this. You're out here on your videos talking. And I laughed about it. And I said, well, funny enough, the majority of my career I've spent, he said, running veterans and all this, running a club, like doing all this. Funny enough, the majority of my career has been spent managing teams of different ages, okay? Older than me and much younger than me as well. And for multi-million-dollar companies, $1 billion company. And so I actually do think I know quite a bit about just managing in general. And again, you don't need to have that background to see what's going on is toxic and it's not working. All the information coming from all the sources, and the good sources, okay? Not the garbage sources, but everything that's coming out is not positive. And it's showing in what we see on the pitch, on the videos, on, coaches' reactions, on the coaches' words. Everything we're getting is negative. It's usually where there's that much smoke, there's fire. So here we go. Okay. Guys like that care so much, Nedved, Del Piero, all this, it's not a negative to have them involved in some capacity. It will only be good. It will only be a positive. Okay? It will only be a positive. There's nothing negative that can come from that. Okay? Del Piero is so respected around. Again, players attracted to that. Like Del Piero, if Del Piero starts scouting, if Del Piero starts looking, trying to be the guy coming out to get talent, it's the same as Nedved. Nedved's well respected. Del Piero, I think, is actually a cut above in terms of how he's looked at globally for the game and everything. So it's just the way it is. But we've got game time, getting ready to go. 5 minutes out here. Luch, been a pleasure. Post-match tomorrow. I heard you're in.
I'm gonna work my schedule and be there. Just especially if we lose, I will definitely be there. But I'm hoping to be there even if we win.
What is this? Especially
I said if.
No.
I said if.
Get the victory. Let's celebrate it tomorrow. Everybody, reminder: like this video. I'm gonna switch it up to the Matchday live setup. Okay, still set up here in YouTube. You'll see the link there, and join me. And let's tackle the action. Let's share the reactions together, and hopefully we get this victory. Has to be a win. Has to be big. Let's go. Everybody, fino alla fine, Forza Juve. It's got to be a victory today. Has to be a victory. Nothing else. Landucci ball. Who's ready?
I don't
Meet
care.
me over there. Watch
just
a long
win,
time.
man. Just win. That's it.
There we go. Just win. Damn it. Just win. All right. Ciao tutti. See you in a bit.
Ciao.